You have a good week?
It's all right. We're shitty. I don't even want to think about it. They want me to go every day, like 5 days a week.
Well,
Really?
I hope that you can manage somehow.
Fucking needy and clingy, you know? I just feel like it's kind of toxic relationship that I need to get out of it. Anyway, it was good. I don't even have the banner up. It was good. So, good week. I don't know. Segment 1 sucks. There's so much to watch, and I didn't watch any of it. But anyway, and then there's a bunch of NYCC leftovers. Just really a bunch of quick hits for comics. News is light, man. It's because everybody blew their wad at New York Comic Con. So
Yeah.
But then we'll talk that amazing fourth wall breaking, universe shattering, internet hubbubbing She-Hulk finale.
Yeah.
Which I fucking loved. I was hammered drunk when I watched it.
Oh, that must have been a weird experience then.
She broke the fourth wall, and I was like,
Did you have a moment where you thought you had exited out of the show when they brought the menu
I
up?
knew exactly what was going on when that happened, but then she busted out of it, and I was like, okay. All right. Good food news this week. Double dose of good food news. And then
that's nice.
A cornucopia of comic books. I didn't read any of the Axe tie-ins, just the X-Men books that I would regularly read. And
yeah,
Axe felt like they kind of got in the way. I don't know what the fuck Nightcrawler was doing in Immortal X-Men this week. I have no idea what he was doing. What was he doing? It felt okay. I died again, and he's back. They're just taking resurrection to this place. We'll talk about it later. Anything else you want to add for this week's awesome action-packed show?
Well, something actually happened on Andor this week.
I didn't watch Andor yet.
They're getting into... Okay, so the pattern seems to be it's 2 episodes of, like, slow, methodical build-up, and then, like, every third episode, we get this, like, huge burst of action.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say I like the slow, methodical build-up, but, yeah, like, I feel like there's a lot of good character moments from this week. So, yeah, I like this week's episode. I would recommend it. I guess I won't spoil it for you.
No, that's cool. I didn't watch Rings of Power finale either yet.
I haven't watched it yet, but I do know, like, the big twist or whatever.
Well, there's a couple of them from what I read, but it's so hard to know because that's all anyone talks about with this show is the rumors of who is who. It's like this entire first season of this show has been building up to, we just need 2 questions answered. Who's the stranger and which character is Sauron? And it's like, okay, it's really going to fucking matter anyway? You know? I mean... None of the characters are actually that compelling. Just what they're doing is compelling. So I'm not sure at this point why it matters because the only person who was doing nothing compelling at all. Never mind. No spoilers. I don't want to spoil it. But I know the spoilers as well, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, we got a comment. It's Travis. Hey, Travis. Thanks for stopping by. Waiting for Andor to finish airing before I watch. Yeah, I feel like it might be a little bit better.
This is one of the first ones that they've done for Star Wars where I actually do think it is better to stream it.
Yeah, just binge it.
I like the episode. I like coming back one week to the next for Mandalorian. I like that for Book of Boba Fett to some extent. But definitely with Andor, I would wait to watch it in chunks.
I think I would have enjoyed the Obi-Wan show a little bit more if I just streamed it all in one big chunk.
Maybe. I could go either way with that one, but I am enjoying Andor, and I would definitely recommend it. So we'll just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, we'll get into full detail spoilers on that later, Travis. But that's what I'm hearing. You either loved it or you hated it. There's no middle ground, and I guess that's okay because the lovers and the haters seem to be just as loud as the haters and the lovers. So. Either way, well, let's do it. Let's do the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. Oh, forgot I was muted. If you like Rogue One, you should definitely like Andor. It's something got that same energy.
It's the Adam and Taylor hour. I did talk to Adam, and he said he is planning on coming back at some point, but we're not sure when.
That'll be
Anyway,
nice.
segment 1, where we talk about what we did this week. I did so much, but yet did so little. I did watch the Halloween Ends, the wrap up to the new trilogy, which is kind of a continuation of the first movie, but not including the other ones that came after it. These got progressively bad. The first one was fantastic, and then Halloween Kills.
Well, yeah, it was fun watching like Laurie Strode just, have her fucking like MacGyver traps all set up and everything.
Yeah, it was kind of like a role reversal sort of thing, and it really worked, for an updated sort of sequel to that.
Yeah,
where
but I haven't seen this one yet.
If that was me and I knew I was haunted by somebody, I too would do the same thing. I would be
get your get your fucking like survivalist shit going on. I mean, this is one of the few contexts where it is okay to be a survivalist, honestly.
Yeah, right.
But I haven't seen this yet. But that is
you saw the second one though, right?
I did see the second one, and
that you noticed how that dropped off.
Yeah, like I'm getting the same. That's the buzz around this movie is that it's kind of limping across the finish line a bit.
Michael makes a friend. And I see what they're going. No, he does, and I see what they're going for. They're going for sort of this shared trauma outcast mirror. I don't know if they're going and suggesting that Michael Myers is a sympathetic character, but I don't know.
Michael Myers barely has a character, let alone enough to be a sympathetic.
I mean, he got a lot of backstory, man.
He's got backstory, but very little character.
I mean,
he's literally like 99% of the time he's like an emotionless mask,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
But yeah,
I was very disappointed.
From the sound of it, this was a revival idea that did not have the legs to be a trilogy. They probably should have just been done with one,
Well, they could have stretched it out into maybe one more, but it would have had to been a lot better than what they did.
The ideas that they had were clearly not enough for a trilogy.
For sure. But nothing takes away from that first one, man.
That was good.
Fucking great. What'd you do? Anything? See anything? Watch anything cool?
Well, I went to watch Lyle Crocodile with my nephew, but I guess that's not worth getting into too much.
Yeah, Rob Zombie did give Mike backstory. It's true. He did. But not character, just backstory. He's still the same faceless, murderous motherfucker,
Yeah. I will say that Lyle Crocodile was a cute little kids movie, so.
Really? I'm hearing it's one of the worst movies of the year.
Oh, that's definitely not true.
Oh, good.
I've seen several movies this year that were way, way worse.
Good. Yeah, not really my cup of tea, but yeah.
It's for the kids, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's get into some comic news. Most of this is leftovers from New York Comic Con. It's probably going to be a lighter show. I don't know. We might get into some details with the comics, but we're going to start off with Peach Momoko. Peach Momoko has blown up. This is basically New York Comic Con was her coming on. Sunday morning, she was doing free signings. She was doing remarks on some of her books too, for a slight charge, but the line was wrapped around the building at 10:40 a.m. Okay, on Sunday morning, but the doors didn't open to the public until 10 a.m. All right, what that means is it was just a bunch of vendors and dealers who get early access anyway into there. She was saying free signatures up to 10 items, and then if you wanted to, you could get back in line and do 10 more. And this is like a big example of why she had to leave, dude. People were like getting all pissed off, and it was just out of control. All right, it was they couldn't keep things in check, and Peach Momoko decided that she was better off if she just left the con for everyone's safety. Good on her, actually.
I mean, it's hard. I mean, sounds like she was trying to do cool by the fans here, doing free signatures. I mean, that's not something that you can take for granted at these things.
Yeah.
But it sounds like people just couldn't handle. This is why we can't have nice things,
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly right, dude. But this is just a single example of what comic book conventions have become now. And the reason that I and surely others simply don't attend these things, they're farces. They're profit centers, and not just to get people to buy stuff for themselves or to sell things to the core fans. It's dealers and stuff like that where they're waiting in these lines at the Funko stop, getting the exclusives and then turning right around at the same fucking convention and selling those convention exclusives for 5-10 times as much as they got them. And I'm all for a free market, but when you're just going to a convention like this to pick up product to sell secondhand, it does feel like it loses some of its, luster and
Yeah, I
allure.
completely agree.
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
it makes it where this isn't the celebration by fans for fans,
Yeah.
which
And
I
maybe
get
I'm
that, like,
naive.
maybe that is being naive, yeah. And I get
Yeah.
that, like, especially, like, your really big ones, like your New York Comic Cons and
That's
your
what
San
this was.
Diego
Right.
Comic Cons, that is going to be, run by businessmen as a business. But you still hold on to that maybe naive hope, right? That this can be just a place to go and just celebrate the things you love with like-minded people. I'm
Exactly,
sure there's
dude.
still some of that, but stories like this make it hard not to
They
be cynical
certainly,
about it.
they make it tough, man. All right, moving on to some comic shit. Again, most of this, I think all of it, was announced at New York Comic Con. We just didn't get to it last week because there was
Oh, there
just
was
so
a
much
lot,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, so Blade Vampire Nation now has a preview. Okay, this is Mark Russell and Dave Wachters. In Blade investigating an assassination in the Vampire Nation. That's where Jason Aaron left him off in the pages
Oh
of
yeah,
Avengers.
he's vampire cop now, yeah.
Yeah, he's like the leader of the country, the security and the investigations and the crime prevention or whatever. Yeah, I'm all over this. This looks like a really fun book, dude. Look at Blade with a badge. Come on, like Marshall Blade, and that's what
Man,
they're going for with the cover here.
a police procedural with Blade amongst vampires. That sounds so dumb and I love it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then a whole bunch of quick hits. Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain #1, Teenie Howard, and Vasco Georgiev. This comes out in February. This is just a continuation of the
Yeah,
shit that we saw in.
it's the third iteration
Yeah,
of Excalibur now.
yeah. So that's cool. I'm not sure where they're going to take that, but by the way,
They're starting to rival that Jean Luen Yang
oh,
Shang-Chi run, but that, like,
right.
it just keeps rebranding over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah. By the way, that Blade book comes out November 16th, so that's like a month away. So we'll talk about that in a month's time. Rogue and Gambit is getting a miniseries from Stephanie Phillips and Carlos Gomez. This comes out in March. Pretty interesting. I like the idea of this happening.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun in the X-Men book, and I could definitely see them carrying a mini.
Yeah, especially if they're going to deal with all these little ancillary characters, especially the ones they're showing on the cover here. The fact that Rogue's wearing sunglasses and is maybe dancing, possibly dancing, punching, dancing. I don't know.
Looks like she's having fun punching.
Yeah, she's having fun punching.
Yeah.
And this is a weird one for me. X-23, Deadly Regenesis, Erica Schultz and Edgar Salazar, March 23.
Is this, like, supposed to be a prequel or something?
I
Because
can
she has
only
not been
assume.
X-23 for a while now.
Yeah, the way they're
When
calling
was
it
Tom Taylor's run? That was like 7-8 years ago now,
Oh,
right?
yeah, dude. She's been Wolverine for a long time, dude. At least relatively speaking. But yeah, I'm not sure what this is going to be. I'm okay with it being like a prequel sort of book, taking her back to her roots, seeing where she comes from. They do that with all these characters. I mean,
Yeah.
there were at least 2 or 3 books where that's all they did. The Wolverine book and the X-Force book kind of looked at not the X-Force, some other X book, damn it. There were so many this week. Basically like was looking back at the past of characters, but I don't know, man. I'm sort of excited about this. I'll read anything with
Well, I'm
that
glad to
character.
see Laura Kearney getting out there again. She's definitely a character who's a lot of fun when she gets her own book, but I am
Worried. It's a
confused.
concern. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a concern.
I'm confused about why she's X-23 again all of a sudden, which I don't want to see. If this isn't like a prequel thing, I'd be kind of disappointed. I think it's a regression for the character to give her old title back,
Yeah, I think so too.
But if
And I
this is
think
a prequel, that's whatever,
yeah, and I'm cool with that. I'm all right to look at those old stories. I mean, that's what Wolverine has been based on his entire life, is looking back at old stories, as they filled in the gaps of his memory. And even though Laura doesn't really share that same sort of status quo or foundation with her character, I think it still works for anything. Anyone can have that. Oh, I was brainwashed at one point, and or somebody erased my memory at
I
one
mean, it's
point.
part of being part of the Wolverine clan. You know, they're
Yeah.
all like assassin pawns for someone at
Yeah.
some point.
It's like Bendis' Secret War. Remember that?
Yeah.
Bishop number 1. This is Bishop's War College. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Jay Holtam and Sean Damian Hill. This is coming out in February. TV writer Jay Holtam. He wrote Cloak and Dagger and also did writing on Jessica Jones. It's a brawl with a fate of all Krakoa at stake. Sure it is. See the X-Men like you've never seen them before in Bishop War College. Armor Surge, Cam Long, Aura, Charles, Amass. I don't know. These
So
are
none of the characters on the cover here.
Yeah, I don't know what that is saying. Their course objective: get strong, defend the island, keep mutant kind safe. Their first lesson: how to fail. They'll do it in spectacular Marvel fashion. Yeah, I don't know. Seems weird.
I don't know nearly enough about this to know one way
Yeah,
or the
I
other
need
whether
more
I'm interested.
information on this. It's just Bishop training a bunch of people. I mean, that could be a damn good book.
Yeah, that could be a fun story, but
Yeah, that used to be
I don't
every
know.
fucking X-Men story. It
Yeah.
was just a bunch of motherfuckers training.
I mean,
going to school.
yeah, that is the status quo that all X runs eventually go back to at some point or another. After this Fall of X thing that we were talking about last week, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see the Xavier School opened up again somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Final quick hit, honestly. This is all we've got before She-Hulk. Silver Surfer Ghostlight. This is Silver Surfer Ghostlight number 1. John Jennings and Valentine DeLandro. Valentine DeLandro is a personal favorite of mine. Make way for Ghostlight. Eisner Award winner John Jennings and artist Valentina DeLandro will introduce a new Marvel superhero 54 years in the making. In this book, Tony Brooks and her family have moved into the quiet town of Sweetwater, but nothing is quite what it seems when their new home, or with their new home. What mystery did Tony and her family unravel that will call upon the sentinel of the spaceways, the Silver Surfer, and just who or what is Ghostlight? I have no idea what any of that means.
Yeah, whoever that POV character is, I don't think is this Ghostlight person, so there's not a lot to sink your teeth into there, but that looks beautiful, I will say.
Oh, no, it looks great. I just don't understand. Half of these books I don't get. All right, the Blade one I get. Captain Britain, we've been there, done that. Rogue and Gambit, again, we've been there, done that. X-23 is going way back there. Bishop, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And then Ghostlight with Silver Surfer, I don't know. And a lot of these writers are not well known, at least half of them. I don't know who the hell they are. But then we got Teenie Howard doing a book, Mark Russell doing that Blade book, Stephanie Phillips, she's well known, but seems weird, dude. I don't know what's going on over at the House of Ideas. They got a lot of fucking events coming. They got a lot of books coming at us, and a lot of them look like trash. She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
Speaking of trash. Speaking of awesome. I wasn't speaking of trash. This is episode 9. Whose show is this? Where, I mean, it opens up in just grand fashion, playing
that
off
was
the
such a
original.
fun way to start the show.
Really was fun, dude. Just a really fun idea to bring that back. Anyone who understood this reference, please make sure to take Advil tonight for your back pain. And then she just goes off and the story unfolds as it typically would in an MCU show. But Jen don't like it. And people who were mad about it were like, why is she doing that? And I'm like, well, this is what she's always done.
No, it was entirely true to form for She-Hulk to have this big fourth wall break in the finale. I will say that if they had just had like a big like epic brawl there at the end, I wouldn't have disliked it. I am here for that sort of thing. Yeah. But this was a very fun way to twist up the formula. It was kind of funny, right? When like all these people are like Titania came out of nowhere, Bruce came out of nowhere, and it's like, would I have liked to have seen them all fight? Sure. But did that make any sense? No. They intentionally went like just ridiculously over the top with how many people were showing up for this thing.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was good.
That's part of the show. It didn't just critique itself throughout the show. It critiqued the audience, but it also critiqued that by the end of this finale, the entire idea of the MCU and the formula. And she mentioned the daddy issues thing, which is a thing that I have harped on
that is a
for
thing.
years.
Yeah,
man.
that is a thing that has been a talking point on the internet for many, many years now.
Yeah.
If you're viewing this show as like a meta commentary on the MCU, its fan base, and superheroes in general, it really did do a perfect job, I think.
Perfect. Yep. It did.
We talked about this a little bit last week, but having the villains of the show basically be the shitty incel fucks who they knew were going to react this way before they even made the show, that's brilliant. It really is.
It's like they played themselves, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played right into the audience, and they knew the audience for the MCU, that is your typical audience for the MCU, isn't really going to gravitate towards this the way they have everything else. So how are they going to gravitate? Well, we know, right? And then by the end of it, they took that formula that is so honestly beloved. I'm not going to take anything away from the people who are hating on this show. They hate on this show because it's different, because they love the MCU so much.
Yeah.
But
I love the MCU too. Genius. I adore the MCU.
Yeah.
I probably annoy the rest of you with how much I apologize for the MCU at times. But this was a brilliant way to kind of poke fun at itself. I love having Kevin be like the AI brain that is running everything. So apparently Kevin Feige drew the line of giving the AI Kevin a hat, but he was okay with everything else.
It was close.
Yeah. They got as close as he nixed actually having a hat, but I think it was kind of fun the way that they handled it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, her going through like the menu, her going through like Marvel Studios writer room, all of that was just so spot on. All of it was so fun, and she did make a lot of great points about like Bruce doesn't need to be here. Why is this guy suddenly like copying my powers? That's what you guys do every time.
Yeah.
She's not
the
wrong.
Daddy issues thing, man.
Yeah, the daddy issue thing.
I had to pause it and go back because man, I have been griping on that forever. So, yeah, I thought this show was perfect. Is it the best of the MCU? No. The thing about this show is it's the most unique thing that the MCU has ever done. And that's saying a lot. Look what they did with Moon Knight with the 3 different personalities and cutting away. That's confusing shit. WandaVision. All right, really, WandaVision, that shit was fucking deep and fun and such, good writing and good conceptually. I really think that's where the Disney Plus shows are thriving. Even if you look at just Werewolf by Night, conceptually, the way they did the black and white and the gore and the music and the direction on that.
Even the fucking font on the title screen,
dude, yeah. Everything is just looked at with all this care. And I really think what's happening here is Marvel is just, Kevin Feige is just hiring the right people.
He is,
these shows, man. He just really is hiring people to just take things in the direction that they see, and he's basically just letting them go. Yeah, WandaVision was very unique.
Yeah,
dude.
WandaVision is something that for me has not been topped yet. WandaVision.
If you look at I know I'm not saying quality, right?
Oh yeah, I wasn't trying to say otherwise. But.
Quality for sure, but WandaVision tends to lean into a little bit of what are MCU tropes. Those issues and the fighting and here's Shield rolling up. You know what I mean? And I'm not taking anything away from it for that.
Even
but everything else.
Yeah, even the stuff that we were just praising just now, like Moon Knight and WandaVision, they both do kind of go back to that let's fight an evil version of myself.
Yes,
like Wanda was fighting Agatha,
and Vision was fighting literally, and
he was literally doing so. Literally. Yes, and so, of course, Moon Knight was fighting Ethan Hawke's character, whatever it was called. I forget.
So when I mean, and I'm talking to Travis here just because of his WandaVision was the most unique. When I mean unique, I mean not overall conceptually as compared to the rest of entertainment on small screen. I mean within the MCU, the direction that She-Hulk took is unique. I don't think you'll never be able to do another thing like She-Hulk. People keep talking She-Hulk's getting a season 2. I don't think She-Hulk is ever going to get a season 2. I don't think there's any reason. I think it made every point that it needed to make.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to make any other points. Now, if they want her to show up as She-Hulk, I'm all for that in an Avengers show or any
I
other
mean,
side show or
that would be
whatever.
good to see. And hey, maybe
Yeah.
she'll show up in Daredevil show now they've established that. But
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't she?
yeah,
Why wouldn't she at least show up, and
and that
hang
was
out?
fun
So,
when like Daredevil just like literally like drops out of the sky so that she can get like
I
another
know,
smash
man.
in. But
Yeah, it was so fun, dude.
yeah,
I just had a really good time
but
with it, and
for
it
me,
wasn't meant to be serious.
yeah,
I think a lot of people were taking it a little too serious.
that's probably true. And for me, I do genuinely believe that they were making these criticisms from a position of love. You know,
Oh, for sure.
certainly all the stuff Kevin Feige greenlit is, from a position of love.
Yeah, and they know that this isn't hurting a brand. You almost can't hurt the MCU as a brand.
I mean, it's
You just
become
can't.
so ubiquitous in the culture now.
Yeah, you can't really hurt it.
It is beyond the ability of us mere mortals to do anything to it at this point.
People are going to go see these movies no matter what, and as long as the movies carry, I don't think it matters what happens on D+. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Wakanda Forever is going to carry, man. That movie's going to be $1 billion. That's going to hit hard. And that's their next one. That's really, in my opinion, the true test, right? Because now we have a Marvel movie that doesn't have any other baggage associated with it. I mean, COVID is completely over, and it's a worldwide thing. We're getting a worldwide opening of Wakanda Forever, and it's not a Spider-Man where it's a Sony. It's not a Multiverse of Madness where it feels like it's almost a continuation of Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah. So I really think this is like a big test for the MCU in terms of them carrying.
It probably will be
few phases, right?
But hey, since this
and they've also like given us their roadmap. So this starts that roadmap. So yeah, I think it's a big deal.
Yeah, but I guess last word on She-Hulk, and I guess last word on the series as a whole. Now that we've gone through it, now, I really enjoyed this a lot. Moon Knight is still probably my favorite one from this year, but I really love that they did embrace the energy of the character in a lot of ways to do something fun.
Yeah.
I like
what
that.
What else has there been this year besides Moon Knight and She-Hulk?
Ms. Marvel.
Oh, Miss Marvel was good.
And that Groot thing too. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure, Travis. I think Black Panther 2 is also where we'll see some things. I think the post-credit scene for this movie might possibly be the most important post-credit scene since Thanos had his first post-credit scene in the Avengers movie. I'm serious. I think it's going to be Doctor Doom if I'm just going to go all out.
I hope so.
I think we get a Doctor Doom post-credit scene at the end of this movie.
That'd be rad as hell.
Oh, God, are you kidding me? This shit would explode. No one would talk about the movie. They'd only be talking about the post-credit scene.
Well, hey, we only got a few weeks to find out now.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So no more She-Hulk. I don't know what we're going to talk about next. I don't even know what the next thing is.
Well, Black Adam's coming out this week, and I can
I'm not
talk about that next. I'll see it, and I can talk about it.
Yeah, I'll get an image or something for it, but yeah, I'm not going to watch that. So let's do a quick food.
Yummy.
Double dose of donuts this week. Krispy Kreme and Dunkin'. We got Spooky Spider donuts, Scared Cat donuts, Boo Batter, whatever. We got fucking donuts at the donut places. It's nice to have something that's not disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is just good, harmless fun,
Yeah. They also got a peanut butter cup macchiato at Dunkin'. Just FYI.
I don't think I'd drink that myself, but yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
So there you go, everybody. Go out, get you some fucking donuts. It's time to eat donuts. All right, let's do top 3. There's a quick food news, man. I didn't want to do anything. I had a couple of gross ones, bro.
I just appreciate it not being disgusting. That's pretty rare.
I like giving you a break every once in a while. All right, it's kind of a weird week for comics this week. I'll give a shout out especially to Once and Future number 30. This has been on my retired list because it's just so damn good each and every week. Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora. This is going to get collected in a lot of different ways. Volumes are already coming out in paperback, hardcovers I think as well. But now that there's 30 issues, I'm sure a grand omnibus of this amazing series. It's just a modernization of the Arthur mythology, and it does it in just amazingly fun ways. If you can get your hands on it, pick it up. What else was good this week? Daredevil was solid.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention from me.
Do a Power Bomb was good. Dark Spaces Wildfire number 4. Man, at the end of this issue, Scott Snyder and Hayden Sherman. The cliffhanger was fucking wicked. You know what this is about? One of the girls was in on the turncoat, dude. She turncoat on him. Oh, it was great. Oh, it was fucking just a great moment. Cool Andrea Sorrentino cover here, of course, on the IDW. But my number 3 this week is going to be Batman Incorporated #1. I love this book. I thought it was just. Now we're not watching House of Dragons. Yeah, I'm not. Sorry, Travis.
Out of the loop on that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and we do mostly comics anyway. But yeah, Ed Brisson, John Timms, great debut issue here. It's just a team of Batmans. They do Batman shit. They investigate crime and they fight crime. But there's like this internal struggle, where there's envy amongst the people on the team, and it's really fucking great, dude. Yeah, I want more of this. Really good art by Timms on this. So basically, a dude is killing all of the old teachers that Batman used to have, and him and Ghostmaker had the same career path, I guess is the best way to put it. So yeah, there's a bunch of their teachers are just getting murdered.
That sounds like a really fun premise.
It is. It's really cool, man.
This one was gone from the shop by the time I got there. I think it probably got specced.
Yeah, that sucks. So by the time Ghostmaker goes and tracks down one of these teachers, and this motherfucker's already figured out, somebody coming to murder all the Batmans and Ghostmaker's teachers. She just assumes that it's Ghostmaker. So Ghostmaker shows up and she's like, nope, and goes to beat the shit out of him. And just a great fight, great back and forth, great banter. Ghostmaker's just a fucking smart ass, and I love it. So yeah, Batman #1, great debut issue, really good start there. All right, honorable mentions.
Honorable mention for Daredevil #4, like I was saying a second ago. I really liked it. I thought it was a fun issue. A lot of great artwork, a lot of good character moments. But this definitely feels like a transition issue. Like we're moving up to something big, but we're not there yet. So
it is a slow burn. Dude.
Yeah,
it's too slow a burn. It feels like this book is spinning its wheels. I love it. It looks great, but can we just shit already? Can we get off the? Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, 100%.
Honorable mention for Jurassic League 6.
Wraps it.
I've really enjoyed the hell out of this series, but I felt like this last issue was just the slightest bit rushed. And that's really detrimental here because, they've been building up this whole time, right? About, we need to work as a team. And then, they start working as a team, and Superman's or Super Sora is oh, that's not working. I'll just do it myself then.
Oh, wow, really?
Kind of undercuts the message a bit.
Oh, wow. Well, that's why they're extinct. I didn't read this. I skipped this week. I'm planning.
That being said, him doing it himself basically involved throwing Darkseid, Sora, or whatever, into space, and then just fucking bringing him back down from the moon, with a big old meteorite super punch. So rad as hell. Still a lot of fun. Undercuts its message a little bit by rushing it too much, I think. But anyway, for number 3, I'm actually going to do Fantastic Four, number 48.
I skipped this because it was Judgment Day. I'm off of the Judgment Day stuff.
It really has nothing to do with Judgment Day. You don't need to consider it at all.
That's even weirder.
I mean, it's related, but the story is not about anything doing with the Celestial, except for the fact that it's got Reed and his little think tank trying to figure out a way to deal with it. The issue's really about the Baxter building under siege by Abelet there. And the reason why this makes my number 3, it's kind of just piggybacking off of the last issue. This was a really good little placeholder arc between creative teams here. This was anyone who wants to kind of read about the Fantastic Four and their dynamic and a little on the nose, but very accurately put vignettes for all the different characters, it's Reed basically narrating here's why Ben's great, and here's why Sue's great. But I thought it was charming. I thought it was a lot of fun, and sometimes that's all a comic needs to be. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Nice. I am very excited for the Ryan North era too.
Oh yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Very excited. My number 2 this week, another DC book, Batman versus Robin, number 2, Mark Waid, Mahmoud Asrar. This is just a really satisfying book, dude. Magic is all fucking broken. It's causing all kinds of fucking mayhem. Damian is under the spell of his great grandma. I mean, this is like spinning out of like the Robin book and parts of the last Batman stuff. Everything just feels so well connected and cohesive in all of the stories that I've read leading up to this. And again, it's just satisfying, in that way. I love Alfred being back, even though they sort of let the cat out of the bag about what is going on with Alfred. He is not Alfred. He is like that demon, like whatever that Batman also fucked around with like 16, 20 issues ago. It was a while ago in the regular Bat book. Just so great, dude. Mark Waid knows exactly what he's doing, and it is so fun to watch him do it. This Batman in the back, that's Damian. Damian got a new Batman suit from his great grandma, and then she also got
the look he had in that Morrison run where he was like future Batman. That's a good pull.
Yeah. Now she has enchanted all of the Robins. So now Damian, who is like this new weird evil Batman, now has a team of Robins.
Okay, so it's really Batman versus Robins, plural.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's been really fun, man.
That is a fun pull. I think
it's really fun.
I missed the first 2 issues of this. Now I'll probably have to wait to get it in trade at this point, but this does seem like fun.
It's a whole lot of fun. I'm having such a great time. I might have to retire it. I think it's only 5 issues, but still, I may have to retire it. It might be one of those books that it's just like, nope. Mark Waid had an idea and he's gone. He's just gone. All right, that was my number 2. But about you?
My number 2 is Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 16.
Man, what a great fucking issue.
Yeah. I mean, this is just, it's right on the cover, right? It's Kal-El Returns Part 2, which I did go back and read Part 1. I didn't really need to, I think, but
it gave you some of the details about the return to Kal-El, though.
But I love the framing that he uses for like John's childhood memory of Superman helping him cope with, coming into his powers and like, I'm going to focus my hearing on something close and steady. And so he focuses on his dad's heartbeat and then he hears his dad's heartbeat coming back in the atmosphere. And it's sweet as hell.
Yeah, it really is. I dug that part for sure. I liked having a day in the life of John Kent.
Oh yeah, I love a well-made day in the life issue like that. Some of my favorite issues, like that one issue of All-Star Superman, where it's the day in the life of Superman. That issue of Thor and Jason Aaron's run, where it's a day in the life of Thor. This
reminded me of that All-Star Superman issue in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's good. Issues like this are great because it reminds you that being a superhero is about more than just like punching, evil monsters in the face. They also go around and they fucking help people.
Yeah. I also love Taylor's voice for Lex Luthor in this.
Yeah.
He's very good with Lex Luthor. Sometimes it's hard to get Lex Luthor.
Yeah,
he's playing Lex Luthor so smart, just wicked fucking smart.
It really feels like Bendix, his character from before, who was like this good, just piece of shit asshole.
Yeah, he was a great piece of shit asshole character.
But it seems like he was the training wheels for Lex, and now that Lex is the, I'm really looking forward to see Taylor do some work with that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Fantastic issue. Excellent choice. Loved it. It's good every fucking week though. It is good every fucking month, dude. It comes
this is consistently a great read. And this is something I've been looking forward to for a while, the big reunion between father and son, and it did not disappoint, so had to make my top 3.
Yeah, perfect choice. It's over to me. Number 1 book for me this week, Jeremy Hahn, Jason A. Hurley with Jesus Hervaz doing a book called The Approach. It was a pretty okay debut in terms of everything that it needed to do, right? Basically, it gives it away the entire plot in the the solicit. They're at an airport, there's a blizzard coming in, there's an emergency landing, and the plane basically crashes, this single-engine plane. Turns out this plane was reported missing 27 years ago. So there's a dead body on there, and they put it in a hangar. There are people at the airport who are stuck. It's like a small town shit airport, and they had to divert another plane there. So they got like 20 to 30 people who are having to spend the night in the airport. But the art and the pacing just really get you into the fact that you're stuck in this airport, with the characters. It really does. Everything adds together. I could grab every page from the book and show it here, because I would have to in order for that to be communicated. Everything just sort of goes together really well to make you feel like, man, yeah, these motherfuckers are fucked. but it doesn't tell you how they're fucked until the last page. And this was why it made my number one. This is a monster book, dude. The thing that landed in that plane is a fucking monster.
So it is the thing, literally.
It is the thing. Yeah. So maybe a little bit too familiar with the monster, but there's got to be another hook. There has to be something else going on. Why have the plane be 27?
Well, I was about to say the time delay is a pretty interesting hook there.
Yeah. But I wasn't expecting this to be a monster book. I was expecting this to be sort of a drama, thriller sort of thing where we, have time travelers, or it could have elements of the thing, where we're not quite sure who to trust and stuff like that. But I was not expecting this. And on a week like this week, that's why it made my number one. Was really looking forward to this, and it did not disappoint. So that's on Boom Studios, y'all. I don't even think I have to fucking guess what your number one is.
Well, you're gonna hate it. It is Immortal X-Men number 7. Yep.
What was he doing? Go ahead. This was actually a very eye-opening issue.
Yeah. They managed to use the opportunity to have some pretty major developments in the whole kind of macro story of the X-Men right here.
Yeah.
Where okay, the main reason this is my number one is because I am an easy lay for fun swashbuckler Nightcrawler. And that is what we got. I enjoyed what Cy Spurrier was doing with Nightcrawler in the Legion of X and Way of X books, but that was mopey, existential crisis Nightcrawler, which is fine. That was
the worst Daredevil version.
My favorite version of Nightcrawler is the laughing Daredevil, not like superhero Daredevil, you know what I mean?
The acrobat.
The swashbuckler, the acrobat.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was good to see that here. And I think that Kieran Gillen really nailed that voice with the character. It's also fun to see Sinister up to his shenanigans. And it's really, really fun when Sinister shenanigans don't work. Like when he goes back to his Moira cave and the Celestial is like, no, you don't just get to hit the fucking reset button. You're stuck here with the rest of them.
Hey, if he'd have sent 2 football teams worth of Magnetos against the Progenitor, they would have won.
I don't think so.
Just saying. I think they might have been able to pull that one off.
It would have helped, to be sure.
Yeah, but man, this was weird.
But Nightcrawler, we get into his side of the events with what was happening in the actual main book here, the Judgment Day book, with him recruiting Captain America, getting him to the North Pole, and resurrecting him.
And murdering him on purpose.
Well, I mean, he murdered himself on purpose, too.
Well, yeah, but
he gave Captain America the opportunity to do something that Captain America wanted to do, which is to face down evil and make a big speech. To inspire people.
Yeah. But, I mean, there was some sinister goings on. They're keeping with the underhanded politics that is at the heart of this book by saying, Hope and Nightcrawler had this plan. That's basically a coup of the government. You can't just say, okay, Captain America is definitely going to get resurrected. Fuck everybody else. But that was their entire fucking plan from the beginning. That's why Nightcrawler took Steve's blood before they even got to the North Pole, right? So then when they died, because he passed it off to Magic. So then Magic had it at the Avengers Kitchen. Because that's where they resurrected Steve Rogers, was in the Avengers Kitchen. And then they go to that moment just before the last page of that book. And they're in the kitchen, arguing. Because it's, what's his name, man? The religious ones all this is a fucking travesty.
Exodus, yeah.
Yeah, Exodus. Who are we going to fucking resurrect next? If it's Steve Rogers, one human, then it's just okay, I have so many questions. How does Super Soldier Serum? I guess that just is going to work with mutant resurrection. He'll just be okay.
I mean, this tells me that they could resurrect anyone if they have their DNA.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. No, it was a fun read. I'm just done with all the Judgment Day shit. This was a really fun read, but I love that underhanded stuff where Hope and Nightcrawler were basically we don't give a fuck. We're bringing back Captain America. We need him.
Me, it seems more like Nightcrawler being he is doing the right thing no matter what that is.
Oh, for sure.
Nightcrawler is the most.
That's not how you run a government. No, that's not.
Maybe not, but
yeah.
People like Storm, Nightcrawler, and Jean when she was still on there.
Yeah,
They
that's
are
why Gene left. That's literally why Gene.
They're
left.
the voices of heroism on the council. And that was a good touch from last week's Jean Grey issue of the Axe stuff. Is like, so you made a bad move because you could have done a lot more good on that council than you can running around being a superhero.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Still, you want to go off hanging out in New York with your boyfriend, looking all big and bad. Yeah, I like that too. But in this, and we haven't even talked about Nightcrawler going to Orcus and like.
Man, I fucking love that shit. Like, he is throwing himself at this wall as many times as he has to buy himself like a moment to talk to Moira McTaggart.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is going to be an interesting development moving forward, because you know that Orcus don't give a shit, and they're going to go back. In fact, even in this issue, they're using the opportunity to be huge assholes to, once again. Yeah. But it was really satisfying to see Nightcrawler, lobotomize Nimrod, if even for a moment.
Oh, it was dope. We still didn't talk about how, I think it was this book, where they're talking about everybody having to stay behind and sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, that was another one of those piece of shit Sinister moments there.
It was wonderful, man. It was like eggs. Like, yeah, I know y'all got plenty of eggs, so why do I always have to die? And it's like, oh, man, gold balls. Man, gold balls. You're killing me, bro. But yeah, honestly, solid issue. In a political book, that should be the thing, man. I can't believe everybody is just okay with Hope and Nightcrawler just going against there's going to be fallout from that. There's got to be fallout from that, dude. There just has to be.
Probably.
There has to be. But yeah, excellent choice. Fun read, but I'm just off of all that Judgment Day stuff. All right, that's it, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it.
I had a quickie here.
Yeah, it's kind of a quickie. It was really light news and not a lot going on, but check out our pals, the Bullies. They got a show tonight right here on this Facebook channel. If you don't want to watch them on Facebook, or if you're watching us somewhere else, go to outrightgeekery.com. We got links to everything we've got going on, all of our social media, all the Bully stuff. Leroy and Eli are sure to be going to talk about Halloween Ends. Oh, my God. Or is that what it is? Halloween Ends? Halloween Kills?
I believe so.
Halloween Kills
was the last one, I thought.
It's been a long week, buddy.
Oh, hey, Andy. I was wondering.
Yeah, check out our pal Andy over on the Outright Geekery Facebook group. Just search Outright Geekery for groups. He's over there running stuff and doing a hell of a job, just killing it over there. So yeah, again, thanks for everybody for hanging out. We're going to do this show again tomorrow, but just for previews for everything coming out next week. All the new books come back here at that same time. We would love to see you. Again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Really appreciate it. Most of all, thanks to this guy.
Hell
hanging out with this guy. We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Oh, man, comics, they got to give me some news. You got to give me something to work with.
If we cared about sports at all, I could have filled time with the UC game yesterday.
Oh, my God. How come riots are only okay